Burgess, Ranking Member McGovern, and members of the Rules Committee for the opportunity to testify on my amendment number 10 to H.R. 9027. My amendment would block the Animal Plant Health Inspection Service, an agency of the Department of Agriculture, from enforcing its rule titled Use of Electronic Identification Ear Tags as Official Identification in Cattle and Bison. This rule mandates electronic identification, or EID, ear tags for cattle and bison moving in interstate commerce. This rule is a solution in search of a problem and raises a myriad of concerns, especially for small and independent ranchers, the folks I serve as the lone representative from the state of Wyoming. I'd like to focus on 4 primary concerns with this policy. First, that it is an unfunded federal mandate. Second, that it threatens further vertical integration of the food supply chain. Third, the rule raises serious privacy concerns which have not been resolved. And fourth, it does not comply with the realities of ranching operations. This rule is a mandate, plain and simple, as non-compliance means ranchers are locked out of their traditional markets. Ranchers in Wyoming are required to move their cattle interstate for processing and to get to market, stifling choice and requiring compliance. APHIS estimates that the rule would cost $26.1 million per year, yet this is a gross underestimate calculated solely using the cost of the tags, when there is a vast network of technology needed to operate an EID system. Yet the report language of this bill provides just $15 million underfunding an estimate that we already know to be incorrect. Since cost-prohibitive noncompliance would lock small producers out of their traditional markets, corporate agriculture operations, on the other hand, many of which have voluntarily implemented EID based on access to capital, would be able to fill these gaps. 4 companies own over 80% of beef processing in the United States. Alongside corporate retailers, there is an attempt to control the food supply chain from hoof to grocery shelf, and this mandate will further this trend. Government tracking of livestock and the data retention requirements in the rule raise serious privacy concerns. During the comment period of the proposed rule, producers raised these concerns and talked about them. In the final rule, however, APHIS was not able to give a definitive answer that rancher and herd data would be protected, only stating its belief that it would be covered. For such a radical change to doing business, the inability to give a concrete answer is more than worrisome. Finally, the goal envisioned in this policy does not comply with the reality of the labor involved in applying these electronic tags. Since it applies to cattle and bison over 18 months of age, tagging livestock after birth means putting livestock through chutes and using other techniques which are not common practices or cost-effective for small ranching operations, or on those that are required to use common allotments like we have in Wyoming. Last year, when I offered a similar amendment, the Intertribal Buffalo Council sent a letter in support, raising concern with how the rule doesn't align with tribal buffalo management. First, tribes manage buffalo as wildlife, not livestock, meaning they do not have roundups or the chutes necessary to tag bison. Tribes also largely move bison interstate to other reservations for the purpose of strengthening gene pools and adding genetic diversity to other herds. Yet they would be forced into this mandated disease traceability system designed for the food industry. I will close by saying once again that this is a solution in search of a problem. America already has an animal disease traceability system that the USDA put in place in 2013, and we already produce the highest quality meat in the world. There is no reason to upend this system now. And in fact, all we need to do is to look at what happened in Ireland. In early 2022, Ireland adopted a mandatory EID, and by August of 2023, they ordered the slaughter of over 41,000 head of cattle. Not because of a disease outbreak, but because of blaming livestock producers for global warming or so-called climate change. Thank you again, Chairman Burgess and Ranking Member McGovern, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have.